Looking ahead to the key events and themes this week, after an exciting batch of sessions last week for the majors and some big range breakouts, we're making way for the commodity-linked currencies. Let's start off in Australia. We do have the RBA rate decision. Not expecting any change whatsoever anytime soon for Australia. Over the last month, we've really seen less than impressive data. GDP soft, construction not in a good place, wages are still subdued, as the same for inflation, consumer spending low. There is very much a lot stacked up against the Australian economy at the moment, and as we know, for the last 7 years they haven't hiked rates in the country, and not expecting that to change anytime soon. To be honest, they could come down before they go back up again. And in terms of this report specifically this month, I'm looking for the unchanged policy to be accompanied by a dovish rhetoric, some dovish statement or commentary coming out of the RBA then, which as a consequence could very much weigh on the Australian dollar across the board, guys, so just be very wary of that. Looking over in New Zealand, we do have also the RBNZ's rate decision. Now, there is a lot of uncertainty surrounding the RBNZ in terms of policy going forward, because I'll tell you why. We have a new controlling government now in New Zealand, the Labour Party, and now they made it very clear that they want to change the way in terms of how policy is dictated, and they want to bring in employment as that being one of the factors that's going to influence how the RBNZ decide what they do with their policy. And now we have seen the unemployment rate dropping, not steadily as such, still a little bit erratic in terms of those levels. But it's touted that they want to try and bring in a target level of around 4%, bringing that down, the unemployment rate down to 4%. Those were comments coming out of the New Zealand Finance Minister. So that potentially means that interest rates could come down again for New Zealand before they also start raising and tightening policy. And also, as we know, one of their sole focuses is to try and bring up inflation levels. They've also got the problem of having subdued inflation in New Zealand. So in terms of this report, again, similar to Australia, looking for a dovish statement again from the RBNZ, which again, that could also weigh on Kiwi dollar. Lastly then, just looking at some technicals, as we've been focusing on euro dollar, it's been a really hot pair over the last few weeks in terms of that head and shoulders, and we did break that. We have seen a retest of that neckline on that head and shoulders. I'm now expecting that to continue to move downside there. There's very much a lot of pressure, particularly as there is policy divergence between the ECB and the Federal Reserve. Just quickly, in terms of what policy divergence is so say one central bank is continuing to tighten up their policy and raise rates, and the other is remaining loose in terms of their policy, ultra easy, still quantitative easing. They're doing the opposite things. So essentially that is policy divergence. Elsewhere, looking over at dollar yen then, there's a lot of resistance around 114.50. If you just bring that up on your charts on a daily, you will see. And if we do break that, it looks like we could be exposed and push up to around 117. So it could be some big moves there to come. Again, policy divergence between the Federal Reserve and also the Bank of Japan. And very lastly, looking over at Kiwi dollar, there's a lot of support seen around, roughly speaking, 68.20. If you look on, bring that up on your chart, mark that line there. If we do break that, it looks like we could be exposed down to around 0.6400 level. So have a look at that also, guys. And again, policy divergence between the Federal Reserve and the RBNZ. Other than that, I hope you have a smashing trading week. Thank you.